like champagne. I'm totally vibing. It's true what they say. It's all about timing.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is C Chronicles and I post vlogs as well as Western fragrances on this particular channel. I do review them and stuff like that. So if you like that style of content, guys, and you're not yet subscribed, please kindly do consider subscribing and joining the family. To those who are returning, thank you so much for the continued support. Welcome to Western Wednesdays, and today I'm going to be featuring essential perfumes, right? If you haven't heard about essential perfumes, this is a collab of master perfumers that came together to give us what they call in hot tea. What do they call it? Let me quote them verbatim. It says, "We founded Essential Perfumes with a rebellious spirit to offer hot perfumery at an accessible price, okay? By giving carte blanche to the best perfumers in the world to create without constraints, sourcing the finest natural and sustainable ingredients, all wrapped in an eco-friendly packaging, as we are mindful of the environmental impact of our products, and we believe that sustainable beauty is essential." And that is true. The packaging for the essential perfumes is very minimalistic. The boxes are minimalistic. The bottles are minimalistic as well. So here, guys, is a discovery set of the 8 that they have on the market at the moment. And we have master perfumers in the name of Antoni, Maison Dieu. There is Sophie Labille. She's also here. There's Bruno Jovanovic. Of course, I'm going to tell you the fragrances that they have created. Bruno Jovanovic. There's Natalie Gracia Seto. If I am botching some of the names, apologies, guys. Olivier Persabieu, Khalees Becker, Quinton Bish, as well as Natalie Lawson. Okay, so each perfumer has made one fragrance, and I'm going to pull each one, and this is going to be based on first impressions. So do not expect me to give you lasting powers and stuff. I'm probably going to give you lasting powers just based on how the fragrance vibes, okay? But that's not going to be tentative, because for those who love, like a lasting power, you want to know everything. It might be tricky for that, okay? So the very first one is Nice Bergamote by Antoine Maison Dieu, all right? And he is the creator of fragrances like Santal Calling by Ex Nihilo. He's worked as well with Tom Ford and Velvet Orchid, and most recently Prada Paradox. I mean, the 2 Prada Paradoxes there. So he's got a lot of formulations under his name. Now, Nice Bergamote comes across as a nice, clean fragrance. I know I'm saying nice for the second time. This is very clean, as fresh, as zesty. But the zestiness in this is a little bit bitter there. So it does have a citrusy tone to it, but expect a little bit of a bitter tone than a crisp tone to this fragrance. There's a light greenness as well, wrapping up everything in this fragrance. And then there's wafts of what feels like spices, as well as some wood. So it doesn't come across as just a lightweight, citrus. Okay, it's not very concentrated, but it's got a little bit of some presence there. And I'm going to attribute that mostly to maybe the woods and the spices. It's a gorgeous enough citrus, but because it's a citrus, I think I need more time with it before I can actually make up my mind whether I need a bigger size or I'm just going to stick to this, okay? Because it does fall under the quintessential type of citrus fragrances. So yeah, it's the first one on the lineup, guys. I'm going to give this one a very good, this can qualify for a 10 out of 10. It's a nicely done citrus, but for the fact that it is a citrus, maybe it's clouding my judgment by the fact that it's just coming across as just another citrus. Okay? Number 2 is going to be Rose Magnetic. Okay, Rose Magnetic. Let me maybe show you like this. So we go moving on to this one, Rose Magnetic, and this is by Sophia Labille. Okay, and she has worked on Mimo Tamarindo, but she has also worked on the Bovaris, the Signorino Misteriosa, those type of fragrances, very irresistible, and that organza. And organza was very popular. So this one's called Rose Magnetic. Okay, so we're going to give it a quick spray here, and then I'll tell you my thoughts. All right, so Rose Magnetic. Okay, all right. So it does list rose and lychee on the notes, and I do get, like a very fresh rose there, a rose that feels diluted, by that lychee. So it comes across as like an aquatic toned rose, and there is also a little bit of a bitterness here coming from the grapefruit as well, and an underlying minty tone. This one was aromatic to my nose when I did, do a test on myself. It was a little bit aromatic there, a little bit strange. Dries down a little bit soapy, but yes, this is going to fulfill the it is going to satisfy anybody who loves rosy scents. But again, it is another one that I'm going to say, to me, is not really one I'd want to jump and buy off this set. Okay, I have smelled some here that I feel are better, only because it does have that DNA that I think I've experienced in Penhaligon's coveted Duchess Rose. Granted, I mean, this is essential perfumes is to offer affordable, fragrances. So some of them are going to vibe as some fragrances that are already on the market. But yeah, this is a nice enough rosy scent. But I wouldn't, add it to my collection. But it's nice enough. If you love rosy fragrances mixing with a fruit, especially that lychee, you're gonna appreciate that. This one eludes me. Even the lasting power, I can't really say on this one. We're gonna move on to the third one, which is Mon Vetiver. Okay, Mon Vetiver is by Bruno Jovanovic, and Bruno Jovanovic has worked with Frederic Malle. He's worked with Hugo Boss, Paco Rabanne. He's worked with the Mean fragrances. So those are heavyweights, right? So this particular one is called Mon Vetiver. So we're gonna expect some Vetiver in here, obviously. Okay, so let's see how this one goes. Oh, this is nice. I like it. I like this one. It's spicy, it's aromatic, it's earthy, it's different, right? It's different, it's very sophisticated for the price, because these ones I think average $100 in South Africa. I think for the price, this is one that I would add to my collection. It's nice. It's got that liqueur mix there. There is a gin that comes to the surface mixing with the citrus there, so you get like a gin and lemon type of kick to this. Okay, and then it does have like a green toned piney accord to it, which is beautiful. Okay, which is beautiful. And then a citrusy weight to it, and then that vetiver. So this is outstanding. This is refined. It's different enough to own, and I cannot compare it to anything else. So nothing comes to mind when it comes to this particular one, which is one thing that I like. So definitely one that I can put there on the wish list, if you will, the Mon Vetiver. Yeah, Mon Vetiver is absolutely amazing, and it does vibe in that DNA that is most likely to last long, if you know what I mean. So yeah, number 3, guys, is a winner for me, and it's Mon Vetiver. Now the fourth one, guys, is going to be Orange and Santal. So this one's quite easy as well, so because we are to expect some orange there as well as Santal. And this is Natalie Gracia Seto's creation. Natalie Gracia Seto has worked with the likes of Burberry, Coach, Ex Nihilo, and I think she has one perfume with fragrance Du Bois. So that's another heavyweight master perfumer there. Okay, so this one is Orange and Santal. Oh, gorgeous. All right, so you are to expect a bitter citrus again. I don't know, maybe my nose is just fixated on bitter citruses today, because I'm just getting zesty bitter citrus. Sometimes I come and I talk about citruses without calling them bitter. This is another bitter citrusy toned fragrance, but it does have like a photorealistic zesty citrus in it. Okay, which is that orange is kind of photorealistic. It's almost as if somebody has actually squeezed the rind of an orange. Okay, and then you've got the wafts of a woody sandalwood. I wouldn't call this one like a creamy sandalwood or something. It's a woody sandalwood. It's got like a lingering woody thing around it. Now I'm getting a little bit of a greenness to it and an aromaticness to it. It is refreshing. It's quite refreshing, but there's a mossy tone to this fragrance that makes it complex. Okay, makes it complex, and just outright based on first impressions doesn't make the sandalwood like at the forefront there. You definitely get that zesty tone of the orange, but not so much the sandalwood. So I think the sandalwood is something that then later comes to the surface, and because we're doing first impressions, I'm not going to say much about the sandalwood here, because at the moment it's coming across as like a woody, spicy tone of a sandalwood with some greenness there, but the zestiness is pretty evident there. Okay, and this is definitely another one that I couldn't decide whether to say it's a fave or what. There is like that Mon Vetiver. I told you outright that I love that one. This one is a tricky one. I think this is one that I may have to actually finish this vial and then see if I actually get along with it. But it also comes across as intense. There's one of those fragrances that are going to be value for money in terms of just the composition itself. It is a composition that has weight there, so it's gonna probably be long lasting, this one. Okay, so it's the fourth one on the lineup, guys, Orange and Santal. All right, our number 5 is gonna be Divine Vanille. Okay, this was the one that actually made me just click pay, because when I noticed that there was a vanilla in there, I said, who doesn't like vanilla? Okay, Divine Vanille by Olivier. These names tricky. Olivier Perfume. Okay, this is Divine Vanille. I'm just gonna try and give you a close-up there, but it's not gonna do much. Okay, but that is Divine. There we go. Okay, that's Divine Vanille. Right, so let's spray this one on this tester paper, and just by the name, okay, you are to expect vanilla. Okay, right, so yeah, this one does have the vanilla, but this is another one when I was doing my testing yesterday that took me a little bit aback. Okay, I was expecting kind of like a prominent vanilla. I don't know, when a fragrance just says vanilla, you know, you expect it to be like outright vanilla, but what you're going to get mostly here is like a spicy interpretation of the vanilla. There's going to be cinnamon there, some black pepper, some sage. I think there's going to be even incense in here and some tonka. So in this, guys, you are to expect a vanilla that has obviously been played around with, as opposed to a vanilla cookies type of vibe of a fragrance. Okay, this comes across as Christmassy to my nose, you know. It comes across as apple pie-ish to my nose. There are going to be some fragrances that come to mind the minute you smell this fragrance. That is the one thing I did not actually like that much about it. Herod is going to be a fragrance that comes to mind there. Angel's Share, those style of fragrances. Even this particular one that was, you know, left behind here while I was doing my packing, I'm still going to take it off and put it in another cupboard there. And that one is Atar Collection Halta Night. So if you have smelled fragrances of that nature, this is going to kind of embody that warm, spicy tone, the woody type of vanilla, that type of situation. Cinnamon doing the most there. So this is most likely going to be redundant if you have some of those fragrances that I did mention there. And of course, as we know, that DNA has been played around a lot, in as much as I was expecting something of that nature, you know, from these fragrances, because they did say that they're giving us affordable formulations without cutting costs and stuff like that. So there are going to be some fragrances within this you know, essential performs that come across as though you have smelled before. I'm not saying this is a clone off. I'm just saying it's not coming across as unique or something that I've never smelled before. However, I do like it. Okay, I do like it, but not enough to purchase it. So yeah, number 5 on the lineup, guys, is going to be Divine Vanille. Don't be like me. Don't buy this one expecting it to be an outright vanilla or like a vanilla 28 or that Spirituous Double Vanille. That is not what you're going to get. You're going to get a you know, spicy toned type of vanilla there with a woody kind of kick to it, even aromatic for some, with a twist. Okay, so I was just getting 3 more tester papers because we're left with just 3, and then that will be a wrap. Okay, so number 6 is going to be the Musc, right? The Musc, right, in as much as the name the Musc is not doing much to me. It is the perfumer. It is a perfumer of this particular one that got me interested in this. And if there's anything at all, I'm just going to buy it for the perfumer. Okay, let me just take it out quickly and then tell you the perfumer's name, right? This one is by Khalees Becker. And what I realized is Khalees Becker has worked a lot with Tom Ford, and especially, sorry, these come in twos, I don't know why, and especially the Kilians. Okay, she has 45, if not 46, even 50, if I'm not mistaken, Kilians to her name. All right, not the liqueurs, all right, but the Kilians that come in the straight bottle, even those the ones that had like a golf ball type of top there, she has, you know, created those. So this is a perfumer not to joke with. So I'm not particularly a fan, like an outright fan of Musc, but for the fact that she is that perfumer, I wouldn't mind owning a bottle of this regardless. So from this, I get a warm, comforting, cozy Musc. This is going to outright, you know, speak to what it's themed as. It is just that Musc, okay? It is got an aromatic tone to it, a spicy ginger, if you will, and I think it also has a lavender. There is a lavender there that is kind of speaking, but without disturbing the Musc theme of this fragrance. But what this lavender is able to do is it's able to make this Musc be a Musc that you can wear alone without necessarily having to layer it with anything else. Because if you know, you know, a lot of Muscs need layering, so it is that aromatic twist that the Musc takes, which is this one. Okay, it's called the Musc, that the Musc fragrance by Essential Perfumes takes, that makes it have a little bit of a weight there, to an extent that if I owned this, I'd probably wear it on its own, right? And I love the fact that it's not on the pushy side, but at the same time I wouldn't call this lightweight, okay, because of the same aromatic tone that we're getting from that fizzy ginger and of course that lavender. So it does have some presence there, and the wrap up of everything there is a beeswax, all right, some honey and a beeswax. So do expect that musk and the aromatic tone to be presented on a waxy bed. So this is a very nice fragrance, cuddly, warm, comforting, a fragrance that I would want to add to my collection. I might not add the full bottle because this one was also going for $100. They're all going for $100, which is 1,800 rand, right? That's $100. But the good thing about these ones is you do get them in different sizes. So this I wouldn't pull like 100 ml because you know it's beautiful, but I wouldn't pull 100 ml. But at the same time I wouldn't want to stop on just this tester, if that makes any sense. So this is another one that fell on my favorites, the Musc, right, by the perfumer Khalees Becca, sitting on number 6. Number 7 on the lineup is going to be this one, guys. Bois or Boy, I don't know, Imperial by Quentin Bish. Now, who doesn't know Quentin Bish? I know Quentin Bish most especially because he has worked with Latafa. He has given us, you know, he has worked with Jean Paul Gaultier. So there's a lot of fragrances that he's done there because I was at one point, you know, a staunch purchaser of the Jean Paul Gaultiers. I mean, the Scandals, those sort of fragrances. So I knew Quentin Bish from a long time ago, and he's also worked with Carolina Herrera, another house that I have a few fragrances from, as well as the latest being Amouage Guidance. So, you know, anything from Quentin Bish, we're in, okay, from Teriac by Latafa to Guidance to this, right? So this is Bois Impérial, okay? We're going to spray it here, and then of course I'm going to tell you my thoughts, but this is one of the most long-lasting ones, and this is not because I'm biased, because it's by Quentin Bish. This, even the air, you know, because I missed the tester paper there, and I had to respray where I missed that side. The air, just the air, because I sprayed twice, but the air, just the scent bubble right here is doing the most. Okay, so do expect an aromatic woody tone of a fragrance here. There is spices in the mix there. It's going to give you a little bit of a salty tone to it. This one has character, a cola feel in the opening there where it's very enjoyable, but unfortunately that cola feel doesn't hold for as long as, let's say, an hour to my nose. I'm going to push it to about 30-45 minutes. You're going to have like a burst of like a distinct cola that's going to be very nice there. And then unfortunately for some, this then starts to take a direction of a very common fragrance or an identifiable DNA that has given us in the past there in the form of a Guillemette. That's the only thing that I can say is quite a bummer when it comes to this. But remember, for the price of Guillemette, okay, for the price of Guillemette and what you get with this one, having those twists and turns, I mean the dusty vetiver, those refined woods, a little bit of a oud there, a salty tone, something in here that feels even metallic to my nose. Okay, it's a beautiful twist, all right, but it's going to have, of course, yes, that Guillemette type of DNA there, and there is a molecular tone to this, a little bit of a syntheticness there. For some, the deal breaker is going to be the ambroxan, I don't know, but it's a nice enough fragrance. It's a nice enough fragrance to own from the lot. I'm going to say this one has the most lasting power because I just gravitated towards this one, you know, when I got the discovery set. This one is the one I've hammered the most in terms of just trying it there, and it was one that proved to me that a little, you know, went a long way. So this is going to probably last till the next wash. Gorgeous, beautiful scent. I'm not even going to put gender to this because it's a serving of a lot of different twists and turns, but it does dry down to a woody, dusty vetiver there, you know, with, of course, you know, that those refined woods and a great lasting power. So yes, this is the 7th one on the lineup from Quentin Bish, and it's called Bois Impérial. I will tell you, of course, before I close this, video, which ones I think I am going to possibly look into purchasing full size. So the very last one that's sitting there is lonely on its own is called Fig Infusion. All right, so Fig Infusion is by, she's the one with the easiest name, Natalie Lawson. Okay, Natalie Lawson has worked with houses like Amoy. She has given us Lilac Love, Love Tuberose. She has given us Blossom Love. That's by Amoy. She has also worked with Bentley. She has worked with Azaro. She has worked with Chopard, right? So Natalie Lawson is another heavyweight perfumer there, right? So we are going to spray this one. This is Fig Infusion, and it's going to be the last one, and I'm going to tell you my thoughts, right? So because it says Fig Infusion, you are to expect, of course, that fig, right? So the fig is there at the top, but it's not doing the most, right? So you're going to get like a tease of the fig. But I grew up around fig, right? I grew up around a lot of fig trees. We used to eat them. I was telling you in some other video some time ago that they actually burn the side of your mouth if you like eat them directly there from the tree. And I know a lot of, you know, I can smell fig in this a lot, but for some it's going to be more about the sandalwood than it is the fig. So you're going to get fig and sandalwood in this mix. And of course there is a cedar there listed as a note. There's a black tea as well. I do get a tease of a tea that's working in the mix. There's some mandarin orange and some orange blossom and some clementine. So the mid of this fragrance is going to be citrusy toned, especially with that inclusion of that clementine. Do expect the mid to be sweet there, because clementine, you know, is often a sweet citrusy, like a sweet citrus, like a juicy sweet fruity citrus, right? So that's going to be the mid. But unfortunately for the mid of this one doesn't last that long. So these citruses are volatile. They come and then it quickly, you know, goes back to that sandalwood tone. So from this, do expect that sandalwood, that little bit of a fig sandalwood, and then getting into that floral. Okay, those florals, especially the freesia. It also does list benzoin, but that is basically the wrap up of this fragrance. Then in a nutshell becomes a green grassy feel of a fragrance with not so much of the fig doing the most. Unless like me, you grew up around fig, you're going to be able to extract the fig in here. But I think, I just have a hunch and clean that a lot of people have to scrape for that fig. Most of the people getting especially sandalwood, then they get the fig. So it's not really one that I would say rush for the fig, unless you grew up around fig and you're very familiar with fig, and you can dig through whatever it is, whatever the spices, you can dig through and still get your fig there, if you know what I mean. Okay, and it's going to be, of course, a little bit of citrusy there, but just shy citruses, wafts of shy citruses, and then it's going to get into the woods, right? The freesia makes this one a little bit powdery as well. So it's an offering of a lot of things, a lot of pages in one fragrance, moving from green to a little bit creamy, to a little bit woodsy, to a little bit fruity, a little bit citrusy, floral, that sort of thing. Interesting one though, one that I wouldn't mind owning, because I could swear at the end of testing this one, I was getting a little bit of a creamy thing that I was enjoying there. So there's a creaminess behind this masculine toned fragrance, and it's not like masculine, but there's a creaminess there that makes it feel in the same way Gris Chanel feels. You know how if you use Gris Chanel, you will know that it has a creaminess that you can't really run and say it's a creamy, but there is something there that's underlying creamy. So I do get that in this, and I can see, you know, a lot of people may be getting comparing this one to Gris Chanel a lot, okay, because that's the first fragrance that came to mind while I was digging through this. But it is a mysterious fragrance, something that's going to wow a lot of people. Now, before we wrap up, guys, I've spoken about the 8 fragrances, right? Now, because they're little vials, they're going to be very difficult for me to be able to pick and then show and, you know, squish my eyes and see which is which. But I'm going to say Fig Infusion is one that I would certainly purchase, but don't buy it for the fig, right? It's nice enough, it's complex enough. The other one that I would recommend definitely here, Divine Vanille. I'm just going to be putting them in whatever order I pick them, but telling you the ones I want. Divine Vanille, no, it's not going to make it to my collection, simply because it's a DNA that I feel has been played around with a lot. It's not exactly a 101 Angel Shea clone, but it feels a lot like that, and I think Angel Shea has been around the block for a while. Nice Bergamote, okay, Nice Bergamote, which was the very first one. Beautiful citrus citrus, I'll definitely recommend. But as I said, wouldn't purchase it because I'll be clouded so much by the fact that maybe it's just another citrus. Okay. But for those who love citruses, I'm going to say it's a beautiful refined citrus, well worth the price from a master perfumer there. So why not? Okay. Bois Impérial by Quentin Bish definitely will make it to my collection one day, money permitting, because that's nice. In as much as it does give me that Guinea maid, type of vibe there, I don't mind it. It's very nice, and at least I will know that it's not just a dupe. It's actually coming from Quentin Bish himself. So I would love to own that. Now, Rose Magnetic, okay, which was the second one. I think this one is Rose Magnetic. Okay, Rose Magnetic didn't really quite tick the boxes for me because it gave me a rose that I have encountered before. Remember, I did tell you about the coveted Duchess rose. Not exactly 100 like that, but if you've used the rose fruit rose combo, you will be familiar with that. It does have the lychee, and I think the lychee is kind of really diluting the rose a little bit too much there, at least to my nose, but good quality fragrance nonetheless. And then there's Mon Vetiver. I think this one I was also wowed by. I love this one. I think I loved the dry feel of the vetiver, the dry powdery feel of the vetiver. So that, money permitting, I would definitely buy. Orange and Santal was another beautiful one. Okay, and I did say I was getting some sandalwood there and a zestiness there that was a little bit bitter. So that is one, say, money permitting, I wouldn't mind adding to my collection. The last one that I have here is the Musc. Okay, the Musc, I said, is a no-brainer for me because it is by the same perfumer that has 45 Killians to her name, including Love Don't Be Shy, Love Don't Be Shy Extreme, Intoxicated, that sort of thing. So why wouldn't I want a fragrance from such a nose? All right, so the Musc is definitely a fragrance that I may want to start with, if you will, because it also does not come across as redundant to my nose. It's a musk with that lavender, and there was also some ginger in there. So that's a beautiful musk overall. So that's it, guys, for today's Western Wednesdays. It was a little bit chatty because we bring a cluster of them on a Wednesday, a lot of them at the same time. So do get your hands on this, guys, if it's something that you'd want to try. And I like the fact that they've given us a lot of options. There's a little 2 ml vials like this one. There's a 10 ml vials, then there's the 30 mls and the 100 mls and the 50 mls. So there's a lot to choose from, and it's environmentally friendly, no harsh chemicals, nothing there. So I love this, and it's by master perfumers. So who wouldn't want to own this, especially if you call yourself a frighead like myself? C Chronicles is my name. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's meet in the comment section where we'll discuss more about fragrances. Let me know your thoughts on essential perfumes. What do you think about them? Have you tried any? I would love to know. Remember to turn on post notifications. That way you get to be notified anytime I upload a video. Stay safe, stay blessed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.